family, now believed she'd known all along about the far-reaching extent of her husband's shady dealings, which she hadn't. But one thing could be said for Charles Aberdeen. He'd not been a respecter of persons when it came to taking advantage of someone. In that regard, he was no better than one of those Union sympathizers or fortune-seeking Northerners, and she wanted nothing that his greed and hypocrisy had garnered. Not even the wedding band, a family heirloom Charles's brother had demanded she relinquish. Jedediah peered up at her, his dark brow knitting tight, and she wondered if he understood what was happening to her, if he'd read the newspapers, if he could read at all. She wasn't about to try to explain it to him. "Everything is fine," she assured, glancing down at the letter in her grip. Or soon would be. Surely Aunt Elizabeth would know what to do to help her navigate these unknown waters. The carriage leaned to one side as Jedediah climbed to the driver's perch, and Olivia took one last glance at the handsome red-brick two-story house that had never been a home. Something went rigid inside her, and although it was ludicrous, she could have sworn she heard the scrape of mortar being spread on brick, another layer being added to the wall she'd erected within herself, a wall that distanced her from every shed and unshed tear, every unmet need, every harsh word, look, and blow her strikingly handsome husband had bestowed upon her. And as much as she hated how the protective wall had changed her, hardened her, the wall also kept her safe, guarded her from being hurt again, and from the sting of betrayal. She'd vowed to never place herself in a position where that could happen again. And in the somber reflection of the moment, she silently pledged it for a second time. She looked away, but recklessly so, for her gaze collided with that of a woman standing not 10 feet away. The woman, older in years, draped in black, her pale skin sallow, her eyes sunken deep, stared at Olivia, unblinking. The woman's lips moved, and Olivia braced herself for whatever she might say, or scream. But it wasn't words that came from the woman's mouth. The carriage started forward with a jolt, and Olivia tore her gaze away, but not before she saw the woman wipe the spittle from her chin. Rigid as stone on the outside, Olivia trained her gaze straight forward as the carriage bumped and jarred over the rain-rutted road, purposefully not looking to the left or the right. A recent newspaper article had reported in detail about the entailment of Charles's estate onto his brother, so no doubt people were aware of her circumstances. Likewise, judging from their reactions, many of them were savoring her comeuppance. Down Elm Street first, then Pine and Poplar, until finally the number of gawking pedestrians mercifully thinned. Charles. A traitorous tear edged the corner of her eye, but she put a swift end to it, unwilling to shed one more drop of grief over that man. She didn't miss him. So what was this emptiness she felt inside? Realization gradually dawned, and with difficulty she acknowledged what she was feeling. Though she hadn't loved Charles, a part of her did miss what they might have had together, if he'd been a different kind of man. The carriage passed a school, one she'd walked by often and always with a yearning, though not for what most women might have wanted. Oh, early in their marriage she had asked God repeatedly for children, truly wanting a child and believing it would help her and Charles's relationship. But God had not granted that request, and wisely so, looking back. Charles had blamed the lack of conceiving on her, as he had with everything. And though she still hoped for children someday, if she was able, what she wished for now, what she'd wished for growing up, was a chance to nurture in another way. But even that Charles had taken from her, along with everything else. She watched the school disappear from view. Street traffic was light, so stops and starts were few, but recent summer downpours followed by days of oven-like heat had left the roads deeply scarred and ill-fit for travel. The carriage lurched to one side as a rear wheel slipped into a rut, and Olivia grabbed hold of the door, her stomach knotting. The walls of the carriage seemed to close in.